Patrons, how's it going? The Triumvirate is back with you, wearing the same stuff because we don't do laundry.
Yeah. Well, no. I made sure I washed it right before this record.
You know what? This is an 8-man shirt, so it demands re-wearing. How about that? Mark Twain said, "A classic something."
I was going to say it's the Mark Twain of shirts.
It's the Samuel Clemens of shirts. That's what it is.
We're talking about this book, I'm No Guide, Pearl Jam song by Stip and Brandon Rector. Brandon, I assume is just like, yeah, you're fine. You go ahead and talk about your book there. We love you, Brandon. So
I'll be hearing from him.
We're my royalties. So this is a second episode of a series for the patrons, because as the main show reaches far beyond the reaches of Pearl Jam into what Pearl Jam has made us feel, then we need to also focus back inwards and deeper, as the header will tell you, with Stip, because Stip wrote this book and he's got entries here. And so you guys chose present tense as the second most voted of the first round of voting. So we're going to talk present tense now. And Stip, you'll give us the reading. I feel like I'm in church. Read the hymn, and then we'll discuss.
Okay, well, we can all turn to page 82 in our readers.
Open up just a little bit.
The music of present tense is warm, probing, and safe, suggestive of new memories and old wounds ready to heal. The transition from Lucan is a bit abrupt, but the impact of present tense is diminished if it's not following a run of songs about broken people. There are callbacks to sometimes, both in the precision of the introduction and the spiritual journey of the outro. The chorus takes stocks of individual moments and weighs them with the intent of naming our crimes so we can be forgiven rather than punished. You can spend your time alone redigesting past regrets, or you can come to terms and realize you're the only one who can or cannot forgive yourself. The catharsis of the second chorus feels organic. It's earned within the journey of the song, the record, and the catalog. The outro is exploratory and confident, transitioning from the past to the future by embracing the lived experience of every moment along the way. Eddie's vocals are restrained throughout, as is typical for No Code's anthemic moments. There's an unwillingness to disturb its tranquility. Present tense reminds us that our lives are informed by the past and anticipate the future, but are bound to neither. To hold on to regret is to hold on to the fiction that the past is predictive. Fixating on regret absolves us of the responsibility to be better and abandons the possibility that we can. It prevents us from growing from our mistakes and fails to understand that freedom is found by embracing each moment as its own experience. Present tense asks us to abandon the conceit that life can be controlled, it can only be lived.
I love those last two lines especially.
Yeah.
But I have a bone to pick, sir.
No, please do.
Just a tiny bone. Like a bone in the pinky.
Let me have it.
It's not a femur. It's like a pinky bone. I want to read back one line and get your take on this. Again, because of the times we're living in and how things seem to come back around again. To hold onto regrets is to hold onto the fiction that the past is predictive. How do you square that with history repeats itself if we don't learn from it?
So I think there's a difference between learning from history and allowing yourself to be paralyzed by history. The sense that because something had happened once before, it's going to happen
Passing
again.
grade step. Thank you very much.
Well done. I didn't mention this in the book, and this is one of the bits that would have gotten cut. But I think that the song that really needs to be in conversation with present tense on No Code, even though I mentioned Lucan and sometimes in some else, is Red Mosquito. Red Mosquito is a song, my favorite song on the record, is a song of recrimination. It's haunted by all of the things that we think we should have known. That's the code. If I had known then, what I'd known now. And there's this kind of like plaintive cry to the way that that's delivered. That's that sense that, if only I had understood, what had happened, I would have made different choices. It is incredibly regretful. And Red Mosquito, in the lyrics, the imagery, is a claustrophobic song because it's trapped by that regret. And what present tense is trying to tell us is not that you should forget your past, but that you shouldn't allow yourself to be defined by it, because that's what keeps you trapped, in that room. That's what prevents you from leaving. I think that's the difference. It's not that you forget the past. It's not that you don't learn from it, but you don't allow yourself the luxury of thinking, well, because this didn't work in the past, it won't work again. Because I had made this mistake once before, I'm doomed to keep on repeating it.
I love that we are circling like vultures around this carcass known as regret.
Let's
I
do
really
it.
do. Because I think so many people hear this song and they immediately conclude that it's about living in the moment. I'll tell you, I mean, think about this line, because this line doesn't feel calm. This line doesn't feel carpe diem to me. You can spend your time alone redigesting past regrets. Let's highlight that word regrets. When I hear that line, that does not sound like serenity now to me. I'm sorry. That is someone trapped in recursive thinking. You know what I mean? So let me ask you a question. Could you say that present tense is not about living in the moment? It's really about the terror of realizing that you haven't been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I think that's much better. I mean, if you think about the follow-up line to the past regrets, that you're the only one who can't forgive yourself. This is not a song about forgetting the past. This is not about a song about forgetting that the past has happened or that it has no hold on you. It's just not allowing yourself to be trapped by it. It doesn't mean you don't take responsibility for it. It doesn't mean that by only living in the moment, you've negated your past, you've made it irrelevant. What you're doing right now is going to be your future past. You're going to have to grapple with the things that you've done, but you just can't allow the mistakes that you had previously made not only just preventing you from moving forward, but you can kind of luxuriate, in your regrets. You can, they can be an excuse to not move forward. They can be your regrets can weirdly be a way that you forgive your own inaction, your own inability to reckon with this moment.
And I think you just hit on something really special, because when I first suggested what I did, in my head, I thought to myself, is this still a communal song about celebration? Right? Because if this song stops being about celebrating presence and it now becomes about mourning its absence, like, what does that sound like live? But what you just talked about moving forward, I think is really, really important, because I think in that way, in that vein, that communal quality can be sustained, I think, when you hear it live.
Yeah. Because the live moment there are live Pearl Jam moments that are about being there and being present. Weirdly, I mean, to your point, I don't know that that's what present tense is. Like, the moments in present tense are cathartic in the way that release is, in the way that they're like giving you an invitation to let go of whatever you'd been carrying more than celebrating being right there in that moment. Other songs do that.
Yeah, it's almost like a shared vow, right? Like, you listen to the song live,
Yes.
and it starts off as this really like solitary rumination. It's really quiet. It slowly builds. It builds in ways that like Black and Release do not. You know what I mean? It's very controlled in that respect. But it becomes this collective affirmation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's really important, because that evolution, in a lot of ways, it really says something profound, I think, about what the band became, because it was less about confession, which is what 10 feels like, and it becomes more about congregation, which is what a song like this feels like, especially live.
Sorry, go ahead, Stip.
No, I've been talking. Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to point out
that's why people are watching, because you're talking.
Yeah, I've already talked about this, but you're making me think of new things, which is that this is like a life transition, right? This is the look at all the shit that you did that you felt really bad about. Look at the life that you were living. It's almost like AA, right? You're in a group of people. We're in the arena together.
Yeah.
And we're going back and we're saying, that was a life that I was living and that didn't serve me. Look around you and look what's happening now. Look at all the beauty around you. Do you see the way the tree bends? Does it inspire? Learning how to catch the sun's rays, a lesson to be applied. We're learning what the now can teach us as a juxtaposition to what we learned from our mistakes in the past, as a way to say, now go out and do it. The kick in the ass of, like, it's not living now. It's living for the future with knowledge of the past. So it's that
So
transitional.
that's what we get? Are you saying that's what we get from the all-encompassing trip?
Well, think
We
about
should get
what's the central image in I just gave it away, in present tense.
a tree.
It's the tree, and what is the tree? It's the roots.
Let's say knowledge is a tree.
It's your
Tree of life.
history. It's what's kept. It's what, and that if the roots are the past, while they do keep you grounded in place, like none of us ever fully escape them. We come from somewhere, and we can trace our history and our choices back, and they inform what we've done. But the song is about striving beyond that. It's about bending. It's about stretching beyond those roots. It's about not letting them limit where you can find the sun.
And
But it's so fascinating because this idea of you cut a tree, the rings are really like where you count the years. The roots are subterranean. You can't see those things, and they stretch too. They just stretch downward rather than outward.
It's actually like a mirrored image of the tree's branches and leaves. That's the network underneath. It's almost like you just fold it in half and really, if you could see below. But to talk about this as a transitional song, well, what does a tree do every year? It sheds the leaves. It sheds its past and is reborn because it knows nature will find a way if it gives into and it'll keep on moving forward. So see what happened, go, that didn't work, but I'm not done.
Mm-hmm.
Don't repeat it, learn from it. That's why if you're a sports person, if you like the sports, good coaches will tell you that a loss is sometimes more valuable than a win. Because you're going to learn more from a loss.
So will a teacher. I'm sure Paul has had that conversation with students.
Right?
Absolutely. I mean, this song is really, in a lot of ways, it's emblematic of having a growth mindset. But I would also say that I don't think I can, nor will I ever talk about this song as being about living in the moment. I cannot separate this song.
It's not YOLO, Paul. This isn't YOLO.
No, it's too rooted. I mean, I had not thought about it in this exactly in these terms before, but it's called present tense, but in a way it is really about how the past and present and future come together. And you're in this particular moment, but you were not only of this moment in a way that's divorced from or separated out from where you've been and where you're going, which is very different than living in the moment, which obliterates the past and the future. Like the only thing that matters is right now. Like that's not actually what this is.
Yep. Have you ideas on how this life ends? Check your hands and study the lines. Have you the belief that the road ahead ascends off into the light? Seems that needlessly it's getting harder to find an approach and a way to live. Are we getting something out of this all-encompassing trip? Well, you won't know unless you shed the regrets and learn from the mistakes and just go. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Take a risk that life is going to work out.
But again, it comes back to even just the all-encompassing trip. Trips are not a moment. A trip has a place it began from. It has a place that it's going.
It's a journey.
Yep.
Didn't Steven Tyler say that? Life's a journey, not a destination. Right?
Yeah, I mean, look, Eddie clearly got all of his great best ideas from Aerosmith. That's one of the subtexts that's running through the book.
Absolutely. Everyone knows that. I like it.
Wake up, kid. It's half past youth. Ain't nothing really changing but the date. You're a grand slammer, but you know Babe Ruth. You got to learn how to relate. Paul, would you get a grip? Would you get it? I'm sorry.
What a great record that is, huh? Any last thoughts on this song?
No, this was great. I learned something new from this conversation, or
the goal.
Made a connection that I hadn't made before. So thank you both.
Well,
hey, you know what? It all started with this right here. So for those of you watching and listening, if you want more of these thoughts, this is where you can go to find them. I am no guide. Song by song, Brian Stippleman, Brennan Rector.
I think there's a forward in there, isn't it?
Yeah, but you don't want that. What's more important is the fact that
worth writing in the whole book.
The best part about this book is that I have the one that's dedicated to Paul.
Yep.
Still. That's the best part.
I'm going to throw my wife under the bus and say that she mailed the wrong
Jason
ones. But
Does it say the same thing, Paul?
That's my
Does it
fault.
say the same thing?
Stip, notice that as long as we've had these books, we've never exchanged them for a reason.
No. Just for this moment. Again.
My finest hour.
You know, we joked about in the first episode about there not being an audio version of the book, but when the idea came to like have this series, it's like, well, let's do like an audio book, but like the director's commentary version of an audio book. You know, it feels like it's a little bit more.
When you pitched this to me, I figured Paul was going to read it. I mean, of the three of us, who is the person that you want to have reading the book?
In future episodes, if you would like me to, I will try to channel my inner Morgan Freeman.
What episode? What song do they want? Who do they want to read it?
We'll be part of the voting next time.
Do a poll. It'll still end with you, Step. You do realize this.
Fair enough.
Okay, patrons, there you go. Episode 2 in the books. So we'll be back with you in a couple of weeks for episode Trace, and that episode 4. The voting will be commencing any moment now, if it already hasn't, which it probably already has, because that's how time works. Remember, it's a flat circle, Paul.
Circle.
Bye, everybody.